What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. I am your host for today's episode. Joining me, well, first let me introduce myself. I am Young RG, as Coach likes to call me, Robert Garcia, and joining me today is the real AG, Alex Gibbons. You got two members of the Hit Squad coming at you today with this rendition. We did an AFC version. Now it's the NFC version. The domino effect, or as the AFC version was called, the game changers, players we think that join these NFC teams that will make a huge difference for their teams come standings and come playoff time. So, without further ado, getting right into it, and your guy,
Yes,
shocker, you
sir.
had to pick
My
him.
guy. Yeah, shocker. I had to one pick a Chiefs player and two pick an O lineman, but we're too prideful in that O line room. But yeah, my first game changing signing for the NFC, or I guess move, because it wasn't really a signing. They traded for him and then signed him to an extension. But that's got to be Joe Thuney, the guard that was traded from the Chiefs to the Bears. And honestly, like first and foremost, everyone knows that the Bears needed to improve their offensive line. I mean, Caleb Williams was like running around, like a chicken with his head cut off last year, trying to make plays in the pocket or just get out of the pocket to keep the ball alive or keep the play alive. And you cannot have that for a young QB. You cannot have that for a QB you spent the number one overall pick on, in the hopes that he can carry your franchise into the promised land. You can't really do that if you don't keep them upright. You saw what their record is in 2024, or was 5-12. They saw flashes, but obviously, like I said, needed to bolster their O-line, and they certainly did that this offseason. The first domino to fall in that was trading for Joe Thuney. So first and foremost, like, he's an all-pro left guard. I think was first-team all-pro the last 2 years with Kansas City. Showed some versatility this last year in KC, played left guard, moved to left tackle when they needed him to, and can even play center. So
Played
you look
damn good at left tackle too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not perfectly ideal for the Bears, but it's good to know you have that in your back pocket. I totally understand he's an aging offensive lineman, but still playing at an elite level, and brings you, like I said, the versatility and that all-pro-ness. But then on top of that, the veteran leadership that I would imagine the Bears offensive line room just badly needed. So, I shout out to Ryan Poles. He obviously understands the importance of the O-line. Like, he is a Chiefs Brett Veach disciple. He was actually in the Chiefs front office when they got embarrassed by the Bucs in the Super Bowl, turned around and responded to that embarrassment by signing Joe Thuney. So, it's kind of the butterfly effect, or maybe not the butterfly effect, but like a multiverse move here in an alternate universe. Like, the Bears are making that same type of move just a few years later to bring in the same guy, but I truly do think will be a difference maker for the Bears. Like I said, help protect Caleb, help bring the young guys that they've spent some early draft picks on these past few years, develop further in the offensive line room. Talk about like Darnell Wright and their left tackle, who I'm spacing on his name, but someone like Thuney will help develop them, will help develop Caleb, and will let Caleb, be the QB they think he is in the new system that is with Ben Johnson. So, again, I think this is a perfect first domino for the Bears trying to turn their hopes around and get their franchise on the right track.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I think this was a much needed and a perfect pairing sort of trade for the Bears. Like you said, got to give the Bears a ton of credit, and to that front office, and of course the new head coach Ben Johnson. They saw the very glaring weakness of this offense last year, and they went full force by addressing it. Obviously, trading for Joe Thuney. They signed Drew Dahlman. They signed another guard as well. The name blanks on me right now, but another starting
and they
guard.
drafted a guy.
So. So clearly, the Bears are understanding, like, hey, we quite literally used the most premium pick possible on a quarterback. We got him weapons. maybe give him some time to throw to him now.
Yeah.
That might help a little bit. So yeah, I think in that absolutely brutal NFC North, this was a slam dunk signing for them. And I'm very excited and maybe a little scared to see what the Bears are going to do with a revamped
No doubt.
O-line and what Caleb can do with more than 0.4 seconds to throw the ball.
0.4 might be generous,
Man,
unfortunately.
it might be generous. It might be generous. All right. Moving on now to my first pick for the NFC. The second domino to fall, in my opinion, is Matthew Golden, the wide receiver, first round wide receiver. Can't believe we can say that now for the Green Bay Packers. It was, what was it, like 20 years or something that we went without having that. Crazy to think about, but finally the streak has been broken, and what a player to break the streak on. By the way, Matthew Golden was, in a lot of people's eyes, the best, or excuse me, second best wide receiver in this draft. Obviously a lot of people had Tech kind of up there, but then it was pretty much Golden and Egbuka, like, neck and neck for each other for number 2 in the class. Obviously, the Packers last season had a pretty good season, 11-6. We were just talking about that brutal NFC North division. Once again, kind of a theme with with these videos so far. Didn't mean for it to be, but it's just kind of the way the dominoes fell.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyways, real knee slapper that one. I think this was a just fantastic pick by the Packers for a receiving squad last year that didn't even have a single guy break 900 yards, which in this day and age where everybody's throwing the ball all over the place, that is just almost kind of seems like a crime. The leading receiver was Jaden Reed with 857 yards, and their second leading receiver was a tight end in Tucker Kraft. So that just goes to show you, no, it is not good at all. The lack of a true number one weapon or threat that this team possessed, and they certainly fit the bill with Matthew Golden here in the draft. Obviously, and kind of building on a little bit to egg on about that, only having not having a wide receiver eclipse 900 yards last season. The last time they had a receiver eclipse 1,000 yards was in 2021, and it's a receiver that is potentially maybe coming up on this video later.
You'll recognize
him. You'll recognize him. So that is crazy to say. And that was the year he had 1,500. So that just goes to show you it's been a while since they've had a real threat that they could root for. And I think Matthew Golden is going to be that guy for them. I mean, there's just not enough good things you can say about him. He doesn't run the cleanest routes, but he creates separation like no one else can. He's a downfield threat every time, home run threat every time. And I think Jordan Love will, and I think the Packers as a whole will significantly benefit from his presence here. I think that receiving room, just everybody in that room gets so much better because now the majority of the attention will be on Matthew Golden.
Yeah, no, I have to echo everything you just said, young RG. But if I'm a Packers fan, the one thing I'm saying all offseason is I love gold. But no, like you said, since 2021, they've been chasing to have that true true number one receiver in this offense. They've tried to draft people a little later in the draft to fit that role, thinking of Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, maybe even Dobbs to some degree.
I think they were all.
Like you said, it's been 20 plus years since they spent first round draft capital on someone like that. So yeah, I love the fact that they realized what they needed and invested in it early, and can hopefully not have just this hodgepodge of random names, showing up once every couple of games and then disappearing for 5 weeks. So, I love bringing it, the type of player that he is at receiver, what he brings, the fact that you're getting potentially your QB of the future, and Love, his true number one guy that he can build with. So yeah, I mean, assuming it's a home run pick and it works out like that, what he did production wise at Texas, it's hard not to love it. And I mean, Packers have always been a consistent team. You see, it was a down year for them and they were still 11-6. So someone like Golden, if is as advertised from what he was in the draft process, I think, only bolsters what they've been able to do and makes the NFC North all that more challenging.
Yes, definitely. I think the NFC North and the AFC West are easily the toughest divisions in each conference.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bloodbath in either of
It's going to be
those.
fun to watch, no doubt.
Definitely going to be fun to watch as an AFC fan. Getting in now to your second player, your second domino. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, as much as it really pains me to put this guy on the list just because I don't want to give the Cowboys or Cowboys fans any kind of praise, but you got to love the move they made, and that is George Pickens, the wide receiver that they traded for with the Pittsburgh Steelers to bring him in. Honestly, a lot of the same talking points you had with Golden are why I love this move. We know they have CeeDee Lamb. Everyone understands that CeeDee Lamb is wide receiver one in that offense, but since he emerged in the league, Dallas has been trying to find the complementary vertical wide receiver to pair with him and take their offense to the next level. They tried it with Gallup. They tried it with Amari Cooper and had it for a little bit and then decided they didn't want him anymore. They tried it with Brandon Cooks. None of those really worked. To me, this is a low risk, high reward type move because they didn't give up much to bring him in. He is a somewhat proven commodity in the NFL. Like his skills cannot be questioned. His maturity, totally different story. But I feel, at least from the reports we've seen, a lot of those issues were his problems with not getting targets and not being involved in the offense. And when you look at that with what Dallas desperately needed to add, you got to think that maybe some of that stuff can turn around because he can definitely be the Robin to CD's Batman. They need someone like that. And you got to think there's going to be plenty of targets to go around because they really have had no one else of his caliber in this offense for quite some time. So, assuming you have a healthy Dak, assuming you have a healthy CD, and assuming you have a George Pickens that maybe just turns back the BS meter a little bit in what he does off the field and in the locker room, it's a home run, slam dunk move for the Cowboys. And I think we'll certainly see a much better record than what they did in 2024.
Yeah, I like you said, hate to admit it, hate to give credit to the Cowboys when they make a good move, but you got to admit this was a great move for them to make in that division. They very quickly realized with these secondaries that are across this division that they needed to upgrade their wide receiver room big time, and George Pickens certainly fit that bill. Just once again echoing everything you said, the Robin to CD's Batman. This is just quite literally, in a lot of people's opinions, the perfect wide receiver too, because he can make almost every catch. He's a great downfield threat, and he will draw attention away from the number one at times, and that's really all you can ask of your number two, unless you're the Bengals and you just have two number ones, and it's
true number ones,
two true number ones. Yes, 100%. But yeah, I think George Pickens, say it for whatever you want, Dak in the regular season definitely can put up numbers and put up stats. So I definitely see this offense improving. I definitely see the Cowboys back in the playoff picture. Don't say they're going to be winning any playoff games, but I can definitely see them back in the playoff picture this season.
Back in the picture, nonetheless.
Yeah, nonetheless, absolutely. So yeah, definitely agree with this pick here. All right, y'all. Getting in now to the last one. We hinted at it a little bit earlier. It is Davante Adams to the Los Angeles Rams. Bit of a homer. I picked two LA teams. What are you gonna do? Fight me?
Sue me.
Yeah. Oh wait, you're a lawyer though. Don't know how that's gonna work out.
Yeah, never mind. Don't do that.
Either way, I think Davante to the LA Rams is a perfect signing for Matthew Stafford. It just kind of fits the bill of what Stafford is, a talented, still can produce vet that has been successful on another team for a very long time and is now ready to try to win another ring. In Stafford's case, in Adams' case, it will be his first, but win a ring nonetheless in the back half of his career. And like I mentioned, I think Stafford will absolutely love Davante. He is every quarterback's best friend. I mean, he made Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew look pretty good for a couple of weeks. So that should say a lot, considering what happened with those two. Now, saying that with this receiving room, because it is absolutely abysmal minus Puka.
Yeah.
If you look at their wide receiver room from last season, Puka and Cooper Kupp, of course, were the only two wide receivers of note, and they both had their injuries that they both dealt with last season. Cooper Kupp only playing 12 games, Puka only playing 11. And
Just
either
combine Puka and Koopa.
yeah,
I
I
love that. Hey,
Cooper Nakua.
Koopa.
Uh, but yeah, so and even with that, they still both led their teams, or both led the team in receiving yards. Puka with 990 and Cooper Kupp with 710. The next closest was Tutu Atwell, who played all 17 games, but he came in at 562. So there is absolutely, and obviously now that Cooper Kupp is gone, they needed this signing way more than ever. They got him at a great deal.
No
I think
doubt.
the money that they're paying him isn't anything substantial. And I think it was only a 2-year deal. So not, investing heavy capital into him. But I think that 2-year window is pretty much what you're probably going to get left out of Stafford, if I were to guess. I'm not sure how long he plans to keep on playing, but 2 years sounds about right. I could totally be wrong. Let us know what you think in the comments below. How long do you think Stafford has left in this league? I
Yeah.
say about 2 to 3 years. So this fits the bill with how long they plan on keeping him and competing. Obviously, you just can't say enough good things about Davante Adams. Multiple time 1,000-yard receiver. He's done it the last 6 seasons. So it's, bad QB, great QB. This dude is going to produce. And obviously, we all know that Matthew Stafford is a pretty damn good QB. So I definitely see him succeeding in this offense, with Stafford. The Rams were 10th last. Oh man, muffle my words. The Rams were 10th last year in terms of passing yards per game. That is. So I definitely think Adams will help this team. They were 10-7 last season, but they had a really rough start to the year. They started the year 1-4 with that only win coming against San Francisco, but then they just absolutely went on a run. Won 3 straight after starting 1-4 to get back to 500, and then they go on a 5-game win streak from weeks 12 to 16 to pretty much cement themselves into the playoffs. Lost that week 18 game, but they were already in. Seeding was locked. No reason to play any starters. So this very easily could have been 11-6. So yeah, I think the Rams in a division that a lot of people are really poo-pooing this year, and maybe for good reason. I think they should very easily walk away with the division crown, and Davante Adams will definitely be a big part of that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's crazy that we picked 3 receivers in this NFC side, but it just showed you how important making that type of move can be for a team.
Passing
But yeah,
league.
again, echo everything you say about Tay joining the Rams. Like you said, he's made even bad QBs look good, and we all know that Stafford can sling it when he's not dealing with injuries. Even when he is, he can still sling it. And the way I look at it is, LA has not really had a true X receiver since they brought Odell in. And I mean, they won a Super Bowl that year with Odell. He did get hurt in the Super Bowl, but he got
Scored a
him there.
touchdown.
Yeah. And that he brings that same skill set. They have Puka there, so it's not like he has to come in and be the guy. But he is still very efficient against man coverage. And, I think the perfect move to again help elevate Puka, who's still an emerging wide receiver in the NFL, but then also just elevate the Rams passing game in whole. So yeah, I think a home run addition. Devontae was a guy I really wanted the Chiefs to consider bringing in.
I mean,
For
same with the
for
Chargers.
the same reasons. Like anywhere he goes, he's going to elevate your passing game. And for the Rams, who, like you just said, are like, we asked the chat to even say, are in a very small Super Bowl window with Stafford. I mean, perfect pairing for whatever time is left with that.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree with that. I think Adams he truly does want to win a ring. I think, even at this stage of his career, a lot of players would kind of maybe let go of that dream. I think he still truly believes he has the ability to contribute to a Super Bowl winning team. So yeah, I think, the two LA teams, if you haven't checked out that AFC video, definitely go check it out. But LA teams making moves this offseason,
Yeah.
and we'll see if they pan out. But that is going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please check out, as you can see here, the gang and their socials. You got Coach Mike Dubb, the Commanders Insider, the real AG Alex Gibbons down below, your Chiefs Insider, and myself, Young RG Robert Garcia, your Chargers Insider. And as well, don't forget to check us out on all social platforms. That includes Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and our Gmail. And in the comments below, man, definitely chat with us. We love talking ball. And yeah, we're very excited to see. Put a pin on this comment, as you said with the other one. We'll come back to this at the end of the season and see how these predictions played out. So with that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night. Young AG, the real AG,
I'll
Alex
take it.
Gibbons. Myself, Young RG, saying goodnight, and we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Take care.